Askew, and I pretty much play all the instruments.
My name is Jared, Jarrod, Moore, Moore.
What was the first part again?
Your name.
My name. What's your name?
My name's Nate. I play bass.
Alright, what was the second part?
What instrument do you play?
Drums.
How long have you been with the band?
Been in the band for, I think, 3 years? Something like that?
12 years.
I just come to practice and they say we'll let you know after every practice, so...
Oh, so
does this mean I'm in?
Who writes the songs for Hiedi Askew?
We all actually kind of write them, but I mean, as far as like creativity and creative force goes, I'm very much the creative force and like kind of the driving force.
I don't really know.
Predominantly myself.
I write every part.
Yeah, like really me, mostly.
I wrote them all when I was about 8 years old.
Well, I'm not really a part of what they call a writing process.
How many songs does Hiedi Askew have?
How many have I written?
At least 5?
248.
I'd say like 12.
46 songs.
There's lots of songs on the table. It's just that these guys have to get their stuff together. But I mean, I guess like getting your stuff together would mean that you have stuff to get together.
We're really only working on, I think, about 9.
Where does the inspiration for the Hiedi Askew songs come from?
I find it in a bunch of different spots.
I'm thinking they get it from like dreams and watching romantic comedies and stuff like that, because it seems like stuff that really comes from the heart.
I get most of my inspiration from doing mean things to the other members of the band.
They usually start out as a nucleus from my youth.
I think it really just brings out this inner strength for me to, like, say, steal something from Nate, or, put something really old underneath Chris's car seat.
I mean, it's really not hard to come up with the stuff, especially stuff for like these guys to play. It's not hard to come up with stuff.
The energy from that is just, it's huge. It's huge.
How would you describe Hiedi Askew's sound?
Like a warm spring rain.
Ethereal.
Can you elaborate on that?
Very ethereal.
I'd say that because of my part in it, very unique.
Shitty. Really shitty.
I don't know, I guess kind of pedestrian in certain ways.
It's just so beautiful, and during the rain you're kind of down, and there are parts of the songs that are just they bring you down, and then the sun comes out and then everything glistens. It's just like it's just a beautiful sea breeze of sound that flows.
What bands would you compare Hiedi Askew to?
Bach, Lynn Turner, Overdrive.
Korn, for sure.
I don't know if there's a band called Mountain Stream,
Tiny bit of Puddle of Mud.
but Mountain Stream and Relaxation, that's what I gather from it.
I don't know, there's a lot of them, but they're all really good.
I don't know if you remember Tantric. They were those boys.
You know those sounds that you listen to when you're trying to go to sleep? Sleep machines, that's what they are.
Days of the New.
I'd have to say like the best one. Best one.
$10-3.
I have noticed that people get tired when they hear our music, and it's almost like a sleep machine if they don't leave before that.
What bands have others compared Hiedi Askew to? Korn.
A lot of Rush.
Days of the New.
Basically the bands that you just named off.
I don't recall saying that.
Some guy named Mr. Bungle.
People have said we sound a lot like Bjork.
Primus.
A lot of Bjork.
I don't know, really good ones,
Lady Gaga. I mean, I've been getting a lot of that shit lately, and it's I don't see it, but hey man, like, I can't tell people what to think we sound like.
What makes Hiedi Askew stand out among other bands?
Is there something?
Predominantly our posture.
I didn't think we stood out.
I don't know, probably me.
I think Nate stands out. He's a big guy.
The other three guys stand up when they play, and I sit.
What is your favorite Hiedi Askew song to play and why?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I can't really pinpoint one. Like all of them are good, but because I've written them.
They're all my babies.
I'm gonna say Bumpin', because even though, you know, the other guys, they write all the stuff, you know, I know in my heart of hearts that I make that song.
My favorite Hiedi Askew song is this song that actually only I've been able to work on because it's really complicated. It's called What You Talking About, Man?
The voices in my head that I hear at night before I go to sleep, sometimes during the dream, they said that you are the star. You are made for stardom. You're going to be great. You're going to do something.
Do you hear these voices often?
Yeah, but most of the time their voices telling me to kill someone or to maim someone or to cut off someone's limbs. But, you know, I don't listen to those, and, you know, the medications really help with that.
What bands have inspired you?
Sorry, hold on. Shut the fuck up! I'm sorry, what?
What bands have inspired you?
Lady Gaga,
No bands really inspire me. There's just nothing out there that's that good, you know?
because I never knew you could go somewhere with that kind of music. I never knew that you could repeat a chorus 1,000 times and people would love it.
Do you remember Days of the New?
I'd say life inspires me.
I don't know. Lots of bands. Yeah, I don't know. Next question.
What's your favorite part of playing in the band?
What do you mean?
The belittling, you know, makes me feel special because I know they're messing with me because they like me.
Playing in front of people, really getting out there and getting my aggressions out.
Do you like playing with Hiedi Askew?
Yeah, you know, yeah, I mean, I guess.
I always hear Nate say, well, if I wouldn't mess with you if I didn't like you. You know, and he's got this look in his eye like he might want to take me in the bathroom and do bad things to me.
You know, sometimes I'll slip little things in, like I'll move lyrics around, like if some guy's staring at me funny in the front, like I'll talk trash about him. He won't hear it because I'm constantly competing with these, you know.
What's your favorite part of playing in Hiedi Askew?
Me. Next question.
What do you think of the other members of the band, personally and as musicians?
Children.
They have these sheepish personalities, you know, they're followers.
I think they're little kids.
They're also great bowlers.
They definitely know how to hold their instruments. I think, you know, that's key, I think, is when they're up on stage, they look like they know what they're doing.
Specifically, what do you think of each member of the band?
Yeah, you know, I really try not to.
Nate's a very stand-up guy. As I said before, he'll come into the practices and I'll try something and he'll be like, no, don't think for yourself.
I think the way, you know, Nate stands there and like the bass kind of rests on the upper part of his gut, I think that's really cool.
With a bass player in a band, all you really need in rock music is somebody to not really be heard, but be felt. You know, just somebody to fill out the low end and, you know, be eye candy. And I think that Nate actually fills that role really well.
He's got a little song he'll go, when you think for yourself, you get into trouble. Na 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 na. So don't.
What about Jason, the singer?
He's kind of weak, like weak-willed.
Jason, just a visionary. I don't know where he gets these visions. I mean, I wonder sometimes if he has voices in his head.
I actually have been known to record some of his vocals. Of course, I write all of his lyrics.
The singer, drawing a blank on his name. He's all right.
He gets it done. Not to the level of, you know, like, say, the singer from Days of the New.
What about Jared?
I don't want to talk about that.
The guitar player, I mean, he pretty much just follows whatever I tell him to play.
Jared, he's a mess. ever since that car accident. You know, he just hasn't been the same.
The other members of the band mentioned a car accident. Can you comment on that?
Wasn't a car.
The airbag hit him in the nose and kind of, I think, poked part of his brain, set a few things loose. He's not quite right.
Anything else?
No.
Wasn't a car though.
The drummer gets on my nerves. I mean, really bad, and I really don't want him to hear that.
Chris, he's a good kid. He means well. He's cute. You know, you want to cuddle with him. He's a sucker, but you're not gonna put that on there, right?
If he could hit a drum, I would be a lot more into Chris as a musician.
He's like always positive and always happy, but it's like happy and positive in a way that doesn't help anybody, you know. And it's fucking drag sometimes, dude.
He has long hair.
Focus on getting your talent together instead of being a nice guy.
It's very cool to have somebody with long hair. I wish I didn't have to record all of his drum tracks when we're in the studio.
I think I'm gonna end up killing them at some point. Just one by one, stringing them up, one limb at a time. You know, just kind of cauterizing the wound.
Is
and
it
then
okay?
moving.
Is it okay if we move on from this question?
Yeah. That's fine.
What is Hiedi Askew's biggest hurdle on his way to success?
You mean like biggest hindrance, like the biggest thing holding us back from making it type of thing?
Yeah.
And you should write the questions like that.
I don't think there are hurdles. I think anyone that sees it it'll just bring a glimmer of hope and light and happiness to their everyday lives.
Jason.
The roadblocks we've been hitting is that no one can hear me, which has been keeping us at this juvenile level of playing.
He's the type of guy to say, I wish I could get this shit done, but I might not be able to unless I take a $50,000 bank loan out. And I'm like, no, dude, you know, just hard work.
The biggest thing holding us back, I guess, and by us I mean me, would be the other guys.
Elbow grease.
We've gone through a bunch of different members, and by we I mean me.
And you can't talk to him about it because he just tells you what you want to hear.
It's like trying to tell a dog that he shouldn't chew something up. The dog doesn't understand that, you know. The dog's never going to get that because it just doesn't have that higher brain function. So that's kind of like dealing with these guys. They just don't have the higher brain function, I guess. And I don't want to compare them to dogs, but it's hard to find a medium to compare them to.
What's your ultimate goal for the band?
My ultimate goal for the band is to provide a home for myself in the hills of Nebraska.
I think it's just to kill some time, really. Like, it sort of helps me get through the day.
I would say the ultimate goal for the band, and by the band I mean me, would be to bring what I do to the masses so that hopefully they can understand that.
Just to, you know, go on tour and be with the guys and really hang out, you know, as long as, like, you know, Jared got his own bus, like his own bus that he didn't have to travel with us. He just, like, showed up and then we get on it.
By the time I get that home, we're already going to have several multi-platinum albums, and, you know, I mean, my genius will have done breathed.
What's your ultimate goal in life?
I wanted to be a star dancer. It's this new thing now where they're gonna send people up into orbit and you get to dance.
Killing animals that I buy from shelters, not killing them in the process would be nice, you know, just murder. It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing.
I don't know, I'm kind of hungry. Maybe get something to eat.
That's totally not the time or the place. You're not my therapist, so we can't talk about that.
That's really what I'd like to do, dance. Pretty good. It's another one of my strong points. That and singing, like,
To be happy. I think that's definitely an accomplishable goal.
Potato Farm, next question.
That's actually all I have.